now. If if I can try to get it on Facebook, I will get it on Facebook right now. But I am recording as of right now. And again, all these lessons I've recorded, they're also going to go up on Facebook sometime this week.
Do I?
Again, welcome back, you guys, for another painting. I'm just trying to set it up on Facebook right now.
Oh.
All right, yeah, so we are live on Facebook as well. So again, welcome back to another class. Again, my name is Bree. I'll be showing you guys a Great Mountains painting. It's very colorful painting today. But we're starting off with the same colors on our palette as we usually do. Starting with the white, the black, the chrome yellow, which is a regular yellow, the medium red, and that's it. Can we record the class? Of course you could record the class. Yes. Again, the class is being recorded right now on both Facebook and Zoom. So once the class is done, and maybe later on this week, we will upload these videos. But again, thank you so much, everybody. Oh, thank you, Katie. Yeah, I love this painting too. So again, the colors that we are starting off with is the same colors that we usually start off with. The brushes that I have out today are basically the same ones that we usually use. It's a big brush that we can use to get good coverage. We have a medium brush, it's a flat brush. I have two of these. Usually I have two of them working at the same time. This is another big brush. It's actually a filbert brush, and these are great for working with clouds. If you have this brush, this is awesome. But if you don't, it's okay. We can still make clouds with the brushes that we have. And I just have a small detail brush for little details and stuff. I also have a fan brush. This brush is going to be amazing for making trees. So if you have a fan brush, pull it out and let's get to work, you guys. So again, these are the brushes I have. You don't have to necessarily have these two brushes that I just said, the fan brush and the filbert brush, but these brushes work great for both clouds and trees. You can actually use both these brushes for clouds and trees. So again, if you don't have these brushes, you can still make the stuff with these brushes. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so we have a beautiful scenery over here with lots of color again. We want to start off with the lightest color on the background, and then we'll work our way forward. So the first color that I want to use is a yellow, a combination of yellow and white. So I want a really light yellow. Our light is going to be coming from this right corner. So that's where the rays are coming out. And that's where most of our light's going to come from. But we do have this spot right in the middle of the picture where it's nice and yellow. So let's go ahead and start off with just doing horizontal strokes. And I'm using my filbert brush, but you can use your big brush. It's pretty much the same thing if you were to use your big brush. Again, just a little bit of yellow goes a long way. So again, I'm just doing horizontal strokes. And now I don't really want this yellow to dry up too quickly. I want to go ahead and move on with my colors. So this light yellow that we have here, we're going to mix a little bit of red. And when I mean a little bit, it's just a dab, just a little tiny dab. And that's how much you want to go ahead and mix with your yellow. And it's going to make this like really light peachy color. If you need to make more of it, again, it's just yellow with white. And then just a dash of red. So again, we don't want this yellow to dry up on us just yet. We're going to go ahead and try to blend the orange with the yellow. So I start from the outside and then I work my way out. So I want to go ahead and add this orange or like, you know, light peachy color around the yellow on the left side as well as the top. Let me go ahead and fix this canvas real quick. So again, the more you run your brush through those two colors right in the middle, the more you blend out those lines, those hard edges. Oh yes, of course. I think our Facebook page is called Color Cocktail Factory. And then I believe, I think we are going live on Facebook. So thank you so much, everybody who is watching on Facebook. Hopefully y'all are joining us with this beautiful painting. I'm gonna go ahead and make a little bit more of that orangey color. This time I'm gonna make it a little bit more towards the peachy color. I wanna start adding different colors in here. And again, the same way I started to blend the orange with the yellow is the same way I'm gonna blend this peach color. So again, I just added a little bit more red, a little bit more yellow, not so much white. So it turns it into a peach color. And I might add just a little bit more yellow to make it more orange. And add this orange over here on the left corner. So again, you guys, it's all about blending it in. You want to blend in all your colors nice and smooth. So the more you go over it, the more it's going to blend together. If you have already a hard time blending, what I suggest is taking a dry brush. Unless your paint is dry, then you want to go ahead and wet it just a little bit. And take that semi-wet brush and run it all across. So you can run it all across, and that will help blending it out a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and fix my canvas. Keeps slipping. So again, you guys, if you're having a hard time blending in your colors, you can always just use your brush with a little bit of water and go across. Or you can use the same paint and just, blend it in a little bit more. And this is kind of like how we were doing yesterday and the other days before. We're blending more on the canvas as opposed to blending on the palette. We want to make sure that all our colors are coming in together. Just joined. Oh, okay, Keisha. Well, thank you for joining us again. So I was letting everybody know how we're going to start with the background colors first, and then we're going to move on with our foreground and all that good stuff. So the first color that I started off with is this yellow. It's not the regular yellow I have in my palette. I mixed a little bit of white with it. So it's a pretty light yellow, and I went ahead and did a good amount on the top part of the canvas on the right side. Since our sun is going to be coming in from the right side, we want to go ahead and have that area right there. And then from there, I took a little bit of red, and what I mean a little bit is just a dab of red, mixed it with my yellow and white mixture, and I made like this very light orange tone. So again, I just ran my brush horizontally until it just blended in together. And then I added just a little bit more red. I keep continuing to add more red to get, more different oranges in there. You can add more yellow to make it more orange, and you can add that up here. So it's just playing around with colors, going back to the oranges, the reds and the yellows and the whites. So again, if you feel like you need to mix it a little bit more, you can always just take your brush, but you want to make sure that it's nice and dry. So a nice dry brush. And this is only if it's wet. If it's not wet, you want to just wet it a little bit, just a little bit, to move that paint around. And it'll be easier for you to blend out. So again, just a little bit of water goes a long way if your paint is dry. If your paint is wet, just go ahead and use a nice dry brush, and that will help smooth everything out. Once you are done, go ahead and wash your brush. Again, if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and let me know, and I can help you out. So again, you guys, blending is the secret. You just gotta blend, blend, blend. Can I repeat everything? Do you mean from the yellow, like when we just started? Of course. So the yellow that we started off with is a very light yellow. We mixed a little bit of white with it. So I do horizontal strokes when I'm running the colors through the canvas. I want to make sure that they are able to blend with the next color that I put next to it. So again, just a little bit of white and yellow. And I put it like towards the top part on the right side of the canvas. After that, I use that mixture of yellow and white to make my orange, which is kind of like a peachy color. So I use a little bit of red, and when I mean a little bit, it's just a dab of red to make this peachy color. And then I run it the same way that I was doing the yellow. So again, the yellow is a mixture of white and yellow. Then we have an orange. So I use the mixture I just used for the first part and added just a little bit of red to it. And I mean, just a little dab, like just a dab of red. And again, that makes this orangey color. And once you finish off that orangey color, you can add just a little bit more yellow and a little bit more red to your mixture. And it'll make this darker orange color. So we're basically just jumping from red, yellow, and white. I added a little lighter orange in the top over here. Because again, all of our light is coming from this direction. And the cloud over here is going to be hiding most of that, but it's going to show on this side. And again, you want to blend all your colors together pretty nice. I was saying if your colors are all dry and you haven't gone to blending, you want to go ahead and take a little, I mean a big brush, but just a little bit of water, and go ahead and start from like the brightest colors and move your way out. And if your canvas is wet, like all your paint is wet, just go ahead and use a dry brush to go ahead and blend all those colors out. It helps to just use a little bit of water when you're using on dry paint. You don't want to use too much water. All right, y'all. So the next thing, we're gonna go ahead and again wash our brush. And now I want to start adding these like teal bluish tones. So we have like teal, it mixes kind of with the orange. And then it moves down to the purples and the pinks and all that good stuff. But we're gonna make a teal color. So I'm just using some blue, a little bit of yellow, and I'm gonna start adding my white very gradually. So this is more towards the green color. I want it more teal, so I'm gonna add more blue. So it's starting to get to that teal color. Again, I'm gonna add my whites very, very gradually. The reason why is because I don't want it to get too light. And I might add just a little bit more blue to this. That's the color I'm going for. If you feel more comfortable using a smaller brush to do your blending, you can also do that. Preferably I would use a palette knife, but you know, you can also blend with your brush. So I don't know if y'all could see that color. It's like a teal color. And again, I'm using just a little bit of white to lighten it up. I don't want to lighten up too much of it. All right, so again, because I want to go ahead and make sure that all these colors mix together, I'm gonna do just another little layer of this orange before I add my teal, because again, I want it to mix. I want it to blend in together. And I need both of those colors to be wet in order for it to blend very nicely. So I'm gonna take another brush and just make this little mixture of that orange that I had. And now I'm gonna take my teal color, start mixing it in there. And because it has the yellow in there, it starts to make a little bit of green. And as you run your brush more down, it gets more blue. So again, that's why it's important, you guys, to have our paint nice and dry. Oh, if you made your teal darker, I mean, if you made your teal really light, you can always just use more blue and gradually add the yellow, because you don't want to make just green. So just gradually add the yellow, but to make it darker, just add more blue. Add more blue to it. And if y'all see, I'm taking my medium brush with that orange color that I had, and I'm going over the teal color, because again, I want it to blend. I want it to blend in here very nicely. And I'm taking this teal color, this brush with the teal color, and I'm adding just a little bit more blue on my brush. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix it on the bottom. And again, what that does, it mixes everything very nicely. Starts making colors that you can't make on the palette. If you were to just mix them on there, it's easier to. So again, don't be scared to hold two brushes at the same time. Once you add the teal color, it's good to go over it again with that orange that we had, and it blends it in all nice and together. I realized that my color is too far over here on the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and move it just a little bit more up. That way we have our space for our mountains and stuff. So again, you guys, just by using the color that's underneath it, you're able to blend it out. You also want to use this color again on the right side of the canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of this color, that orange, just a little bit. So again, it's easier to blend. And you can always just use a little bit more yellow to lighten these up. Yellow or white, doesn't really matter. Just as long as it lightens up and then the color comes back again. And again, this corner is going to be covered regardless. I just want to go ahead and have these colors all in here. And again, I want them to blend in very nicely. So I'm taking a dry brush to it right now, and I'm just running it back and forth till it blends into where I like it. And again, you can always go over stuff that you don't like. Acrylic is so easy to work with because of that reason. So again, just with a dry brush, I'm able to blend those colors I just put in here, because all my colors are pretty wet at the moment. I can always lighten this corner up too. These colors that come off from the side with just a little bit of white. Again, it's just all however you see it. Might add just a little bit more teal. However you see it, however you feel it's right, that's exactly where it should be. So again, I've just been going back and forth with my oranges, my yellows, my teal, some whites, just to lighten these areas all up. And again, I'm not here to kill anybody's creativity. So if you want to go ahead and add maybe some more yellow or some more pinks or some more reds, that is totally up to you. If you do have a brush with some orange, how do I keep from seeing orange under my teal? I keep adding paint with a stroke, the orange disappears. It might be because you might be over blending it, Katie. So if the orange disappears, if you're doing it on top of the teal, you might be over blending it just a little bit. So when I blend it on top of the teal, I kind of just wanted to go on the sides of it. So I don't want it to go right at the top. If you're covering teal, that's a little different. You want it to completely dry before you start adding any orange in there. Does that help, Katie? Because again, the orange is just helping us blend in that teal from the edges. I went back to my orange to go ahead and start making just shapes of clouds. They don't have to be a particular shape, just as long as I usually just kind of let my wrist do like a little shaky. I have a little shakiness to it. So for anybody who does tend to shake when they're painting, this is a good chance to show off your skills. I just kind of just shake it off, just shake a little shape in there. So I'm gonna make this shape kind of big because this is where one of my clouds is gonna be, and it's gonna have this orange highlight in the bottom of it. So again, the color that I'm using for these clouds over here in the yellow side, I'm just using this in the yellow. It's just orange, the orange that we've been using for this area over here. And again, the way I do clouds, it's very simple. I just kind of just shake my hand, shake my wrist. I kind of just let the brush go. And again, I'm making this little cloud over here right on top of that yellow. I want to go ahead and make a cloud right here. And the orange is going to show off in the bottom of the cloud. And again, you guys, whatever you think should go in there, If you feel like it should go in there, it should definitely go in there. If you feel like you need more clouds, you know, that's totally up to you. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to our purples and pink area. I want to use just a little bit of this teal color as like a background color, but not too much. So I'm putting barely any on my brush. This side is it's clean, and this side just has a little bit of teal. So again, I just want to use just a little bit to go ahead and continue that color, and that way we can blend it in all together nicely. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix the teal color with just a little bit of red. So whatever I have on my brush already, I'm just gonna mix it with a little bit of red. And it's gonna make kind of a darker purple. So I add just the tiniest bit of white. And it's just a dab really. So add just a little bit of white to this mixture. It's gonna make a lavender color. If it doesn't make a lavender color with just a little bit of white, just add a little bit more. And again, if you want it to be more purple, just go ahead and add more red to it. You can have a really, really purpley purple. So like this purple for me is just a little too dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some white. And because my paint is wet, it's easier to just blend the white on top of the color I just added on here. And again, I like leaving traces of those colors that we already used. So I take some teal and I run it on top of the purple once I'm done. And again, it makes different colors. Clouds are orange. Can you slow still on clouds? Okay, yeah, no worries. No worries. I'm just moving on with some purples. No worries. Ideally, you want to go ahead and do this when all of your paint is nice and wet. You don't really want to let it sit too much. Because again, otherwise you're gonna have to take a dry brush or a wet brush, semi-wet brush to it in order to blend it out. So ideally it's easier if all of your paint is nice and wet. You just can continue your process. So all I'm doing right now is just blending my colors out because again, I don't want them to just sit there. I'm just trying to blend them out. And if you see, I'm kind of just pulling it back over here. And I can even drag this purple over here. Something like that. I think I added too much white. What did you add too much white to? You can always fix it, that's no problem. I don't think I can see you, Isma. Let me check real quick. Where is... Yeah, I can't see yours. Let me go ahead and take a look at yours. And then maybe I could try to help you. If you are through with the purple, what you can do is just make a little bit of pink on the side. Oh, I see it. I think it looks great. I think your clouds, if anything, you can just make them a little bit more orange. They're towards the darker side of the orange, but you can make them like brighter orange, not too bright, but like, you know, not too dark either, like regular orange. I think that would be good enough. All right. So again, if you are done with the purple, just go ahead and make yourself some pink on the side using red and white, and go right on top where that purple and that yellow connects, and drag that pink to the bottom over here. We're gonna just use it a little bit for our mountains. How do you make pink? Pink is just red and white. So just a little bit of red goes a long way, and white. And again, you want to go on top of it where the yellow and the purple connects. So you add all those pink strokes in there. And again, you could take a semi-wet brush and blend all those colors in together. You don't want to blend them in all together, but you know, you want to blend them in so they soften up and they don't have those hard edges on there. How do you get pink? So again, pink is just red and white. So you want to just use red and white. A little bit of red goes a long way. And again, you want to run the pink to all the way to like this bottom part over here. This is where our mountains and all that stuff's going to go. And we need a little bit of pink with that. I think Baby Yoda's trying to show us something over here. Let's go ahead and give the spotlight. I'm gonna see. Ooh, perfect. That is a good example to use a dry brush. It looks kind of wet, but I might be wrong. Maybe it's the camera. But if it's wet, just use a dry brush. If it's not wet, if your paint is not wet, just go ahead and use a semi-wet brush to go ahead and blend those colors out. But I like how you did your blending over here in the bottom with the greens and the blues with the purples. That looks nice. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go back to over here. How do you get rid of the hard edges so it blends better? Again, Katie, all you need to do is just run your brush back and forth, back and forth. So if your paint is wet, use a dry brush. If your paint is dry, use a semi-wet brush. And that will help you to get rid of those hard edges on there. So again, for the teal color, it's just a little bit of blue, well, more blue than yellow, more blue than yellow. And gradually add the white. Because again, you don't want to start off with a lot of white. All right, y'all. My yellow is gone. Just go ahead and wait it out. If your paint is still dry, I mean, it's still wet, Isha, you want to go ahead and wait. So wait till your paint is dry and then you can go over your yellow. Or, you know, that part where you had yellow, and then try to blend it out with the colors that you have around it. So if it's the orange, if it's the pinks and the teals, you know, go ahead and try to blend it out as much as you can. So again, you guys, ideally when you're painting a painting like this, where you have a lot of colors in the back, you want to do this semi-fast because you want all the colors to blend very naturally when they're wet. It gets a little harder to blend once they have dried up already. So you want to go ahead and do it in a quicker pace. Because again, it's better to blend them when they're wet as opposed to when they're dry. I feel like no matter how quickly I'm doing it, it dries nearly instantly. What kind of paint are you using, Iris? Is it acrylic? Acrylic. You might want to use a little bit more paint then. So instead of using just a little bit of paint, maybe you're using just a little bit of paint. I don't know, but you can always use just more paint and it'll take a little longer to dry. Are you painting on a canvas or on a piece of paper or like those mixed media papers? It's like acrylic paper. Yeah, no worries. So again, just use a little bit more paint. And then from there, it'll be easier for you to blend because all your paint's wet. How much of the painting is the mountains covering? So, okay, I have these colors over here in the bottom because I know I'm going to use some of these colors for the mountain. So the mountain's actually going to start around here in this teal area. That's where the mountains are gonna start. And they kind of come down in the bottom, but then we have our trees blocking the rest of that view. So if you need to kind of space out where your stuff is at, just keep in mind that the mountains, we can always move them however we want. So they don't have to be exactly like this. You know, you can do whatever you like. No painting is ever gonna look the same. So, you know, you can always change it up and see what you can do and all that good stuff. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and move on. If this area in the bottom is wet, it shouldn't be, but if it's wet, just go ahead and give it a little time to dry. I want to move on with the clouds. So we're gonna start up here. This area should be dry. So again, I want to start with the clouds and get the clouds out of the way. And then we can move on to our mountains and trees and all that good stuff. All right, so for our mountains, again, if you have a filbert brush or if you have a fan brush, that's perfect. Or if you just have like a medium brush, or that's perfect too. So like a medium flat brush, you can also do what I'm about to do with it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get another paper plate to mix these colors. In the clouds, you see just a couple of different colors. So you see like a really dark color up here. And then the colors in this area are actually the teal colors from this area. So we're just gonna make the shape of the cloud with a mixture of blue and black. So with a mixture of blue and black, we're gonna go ahead and make just the shape of the cloud. This is also blue and black and blue and black. So we're gonna go ahead and do that mixture. And I actually do a little bit more blue than black, just because I don't want it to be too dark. So it's, you know, it's like in the dark blue side. But for my darker areas, I'm gonna add just a little bit more black to it so it can be darker. All right, so again, you guys, we're just gonna be making very basic shapes for our clouds. Now, we have this cloud over here in the corner that's actually blocking the light. And it's gonna be pretty big, but the way I usually make clouds, I do like a circular motion. So I just do like a circle. When I get close to these like little areas, I kind of just pull my brush out and then start, you know, making it. But I go back to those circle motions and I kind of just let the brush do whatever it wants. I keep continuing the circle motion inside of the cloud. So again, pick up different shapes and even colors. So if you can see right here, some of these colors are getting lighter as I move the brush. Some of them get darker. If I continue adding more paint, they will start to get darker in value. And I want to go ahead and add this dark blue color on the bottom of the cloud. It's going to be the shadow for our clouds, for these big clouds at least. Is this a fan brush? No, so I'm not using a fan brush, I'm using a filbert brush, but you can actually use a fan brush. Let me go ahead and show you. So with a fan brush, same thing. You want to go ahead and do circular motions. You want to go ahead and do circular motions to get that cloud and give it its shape. So just circular motions to give it the shape that you want it to have. So like, for instance, mine got just a little longer on this side right here, but that's okay. Maybe that's a big droopy cloud. So again, same thing. Just go ahead and pull it out right here on the side where it gets, you know, a little thinner. If you feel like your cloud is just a little too dark, you can always just add a little, the slightest amount of white and kind of just blend it in with the color you already have and just barely go on top of it. Like 3 hairs is all you need from the brush. That's only if you feel like it's just too light. I'm gonna actually cover that. I like this color that I have. All these dark blues and teal colors in the background. They look really pretty together. All right, gonna move on to my second cloud. So again, if you're doing this with a fan brush, it works just as well as you're doing it with a medium flat brush or a filbert brush, the one I'm using. So again, the color that I'm using for the clouds is just a dark blue. So blue with black. You can even add the teal color on the top if you want. So again, I left some of that teal color that I had in the back. I left it so it can show off in the cloud. I'm gonna make another cloud over here, just a little one to kind of even out what's going on over here as well. Because we're gonna be adding a lot of little baby white clouds that you're not gonna be able to tell right away, but you'll be able to see them once the painting is complete. So again, it's just a mixture of blue and black for the clouds. And I tend to use a darker shade of that blue black for the bottom of the cloud. I want to go ahead and make it a nice little shadow. And again, you can do your cloud however you like, however you feel it should look. You can make a really big cloud or a really small cloud. I had that orange over here for my other cloud, and I said I was going to use orange for it to show off in the bottom. So I'm going to put my cloud right on top of that orange. And again, if you're struggling to put the paint back in the canvas, just go ahead and add a little bit of water to your brush. Should be a little easier. That turned into one big cloud. So I'll just add just a little one over here. Again, if you feel like you want some of these darker clouds closer, here or more or what have not. You can. I wouldn't recommend putting any dark clouds on this side though. Again, just because this is where the light's coming from. And we want to go ahead and show the fact that the light's behind here. And there's some shadow going on. All right. So once you are done with your clouds, we're going to take a small brush. And now we're going to blend these edges from the clouds. So I'm taking a small brush with white and I'm just dabbing the edges of the cloud. Now, the more I move my brush into the color, the more it's going to pick it up and going to start blending it out more. So again, I just do a couple of dabs. I'll dab it. And this is in the corners of the painting. So if it's not completely mixing, just go ahead and add more of that blue-black mixture to your brush and dab it right next to the white. And again, that way it's gonna go ahead and help you mix it and blend it in a little bit better. So again, ideally, you wanna go ahead and do this as soon as you're done with your cloud. So that way you can blend all these colors again. And they don't have such hard edges. Another good way to soften edges is actually just by using your fingers. So by tapping it on that wet paint, you can always just soften those edges just by tapping it with your finger.
Excuse me, so you're just putting white around the cloud?
Of course, yes. So again, the white, it's kind of turning into another color because again, we're trying to blend that blue with the white. So it's picking up a little bit of that blue, but yes, it's just white. If your blue isn't blending, again, just go ahead and use a little bit of that mixture of blue and black and put it on the edge of the white. And that way it'll start blending with the white and giving it more of a softer look. And you want to do this with all these dark clouds. You want to go ahead and do this with all your dark clouds. For this cloud that's right here, I just do it on the top part of the cloud. Since I have my my orange already in the bottom, I don't really want to mess with that orange. I want to go ahead and leave that orange so you could be able to see it. So I just put the white on the top. So again, I'm just dabbing. I'm just dabbing the white color on here. And again, it should pick up the color that's behind. But if it's not, just go ahead and use that same mixture of blue and black right next to the white. That way it can blend itself out. So again, for this cloud on the bottom of the big cloud on top, I'm doing the white just in the top part. I want to also do the white on this cloud. And my water is actually really dirty, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch it out real quick, you guys. Why is there lines in the back of the canvas? Are you talking about these lines that go across? Because again, those lines are going to be the sun. Those are going to be the rays of the sun. No, the lines on your canvas, the one you're using. In the back. It's an artifact of the lighting.
Yeah,
I think you're talking
Oh,
about
I
camera
see.
effects.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, that's probably from the lighting from where I'm at right now. I have like 3 or 4 different lights pointed at this, so y'all can have a really good view of the color. But once I have color on here, those lines will disappear probably. Thank you for that, Beth. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and move on. I want to go ahead and start adding these white clouds. So I have an idea where my blues are going to go. So I'm just using my medium brush with white. So it's just my medium brush with white. I'm just dabbing a little bit of water with it so it's nice and easy to move across the canvas. And again, I'm gonna just make different shapes of this white. Now, if it looks too white, like right here, you could take a napkin and dab it off. You could take your finger and dab it. So again, that's why it's good to wiggle your brush to take off that excess paint. And then again, just very lightly start adding those colors. And again, you can tap it with your finger to soften it up. You can make whatever kind of cloud shapes you like. Keep in mind that our mountain is going to start around here. So I'm just going to add a couple in the bottom, but mainly focus more on the top over here. Gonna add as many as I want. And you can even add, you know, clouds underneath or behind your big clouds, and that'll create some distance in your picture. I didn't get the pinkish effect. You mean over here in this area with the purples? That's okay. You can always go on top with more pink. Just as long as you have that purple and that orange right next to you so you can blend the pink out, you should be fine. It's all just about having your colors wet to blend them out. So again, you can make yourself some pink on the side and put it on here once it's dry, this area, if it's not dry. And again, as long as you have those orange and that purple, you should be totally fine when you put it on top, because again, you just use those colors to mix it on the sides. Or you can just use water to mix it. You know, however you feel comfortable mixing your colors, because there's different ways of blending. There's no right way of blending. There's different ways. One artist might like it one way, and one person might like it the other way. I made my bottom cloud is too big and now it's touching the middle cloud. It's okay. It's okay if your clouds are touching. That's no big deal. If you want to separate them, sometimes what you can always do is just dab that white to the area that you want to separate. So for instance, right here, I have this little bloop area right here that kind of just came out. So what I could do is add a cloud on top of this one. So I can just continue this cloud and put it right on top. And see, just by shaping the cloud with the white, I'm gonna go ahead and go over again with the mixture of the blue black around the white to go ahead and mix that to make it, you know, blend it out more smoothly. So again, you can shape your clouds however. Just because it's already on the paper does not mean that it is permanent, or on the canvas, wherever you're painting. Just because it's on there does not mean it's permanent. You can always change it, always do something different to it. So again, if you see, I put a cloud, another cloud on top of it using that extra cloud that I had just by using that white and then going over the edges with the blue-black mixture. All right, so I feel like I have enough white clouds in here. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my blues on top of it. This is gonna be a big cloud right here. So again, same process, y'all, except this blue is just a little lighter. It's actually gonna be the same blue that we're gonna be using for our mountains. All right, y'all. So again, the blue that we're going to use right now for our clouds over here on this side, we're going to be using this blue for our mountains. So go ahead and make yourself a good amount of this blue. We're going to be switching the value up little by little, but not too much. So I took my regular blue and I added a little bit of white to it. And it turns it into this like medium, not too bright, not too dark blue. And then now I want to go ahead and add just a dash of black. So I would say this is more like a navy blue. Skin, because it's got like that grayish tone. It's kind of dark, not too dark. And again, this is the blue that we're going to be using for the mountains as well as some clouds up here. We have some light blue clouds, so don't use all of your blue your white areas for these clouds. Just use a couple, maybe one or two or three. So again, same thing. Just go ahead and start by making a shape of a cloud. And since I'm using my medium brush, I'm actually going just horizontally and shaking my brush a little bit. So I'm kind of just dragging my brush as I shake it horizontally. How do you make the blue? So again, I took my regular blue and I mixed a little bit of white with it to make this medium blue. So it's not too dark, not too light. And then I took just a little bit of black and it turned it just, you know, darker again, but not too dark where we had our blue black combination. So this is actually all blue black combinations, but this one's mixed with a little bit of white. You know, this one's mixed with more blue, but it's the same blue. It's just a little lighter. So again, we're using just a couple of these white clouds to add this these clouds on top of it. And again, these go on top of the white. Just want to do just a couple, not too many. All right, and now once I have that, we're gonna go ahead and start our mountains. We can go back to that baby blue in a second. I wanna go ahead and already get the mountain area in here. So I add a little bit of water to my blue over here. And again, this is just a mixture of regular blue, white, and then a little bit of black. You want to mix the blue and the white first before you add the black, otherwise it's just going to make a gray. And again, I add a little bit of water to my brush after I filled it. And now this is going to be the fun part because we're going to try to imitate watercolor. So again, you want it to be nice and thin, relatively thin, your paint. You don't want it to be too thick. And you can go off on your shapes however you feel today. If you want your mountains to be really tall, really skinny, however you want them. So I make one continuous line through the whole canvas. And then from there, I want to take a little bit more water from my brush, just a little bit. If it has too much, just go ahead and wiggle it out on your palette first. And I want to run this blue across, this whole area right here. I don't want to completely cover this pink right here. So I'm just going to do horizontal strokes to cover this. Again, I don't want to completely cover that pink. I want to have some of that pink on my showing through, So after I pick up the blue, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of white on the bottom over here, and that's how we're going to get that baby blue. So just a little bit of that baby blue, and go ahead and blend it with that blue you just added, and blend it in there. I'm adding just a little bit of that baby blue on the bottom of this mountain. And if you still have baby blue on your brush, you can use it for your clouds over here. What color is the mountain line? So again, I use the same color that I did the blue, this blue with. So it's a combination of blue and white. You want to not make it baby blue, but you want to make it right in between. And then after you mix the blue and the white, you want to add just a little bit of black, like just a little bit. And it's going to turn into this color. And again, we're trying to replicate how watercolor works. So we're using water with our brush after we add the mountain line. And we're going to go ahead and try to blend that mountain line in. Not too much because we definitely want a nice hard edge for the mountain, but we want the color inside of the mountain to be very, very light in color. So you add water to your brush, yes. After you are done with the mountain line, you want to add water to your brush to just spread that color. Spread that color out to the rest of the mountain. I was saying that I don't want to cover completely this pink area. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave some pink areas in there to that same color without changing the color. Exactly. That's all we're doing. It's just adding water to our brush. So again, because we want the inside of the mountain to be light in color, we're just using water to spread the paint. We want our mountain lines to be nice and thick. We want those to be solid. I put too many hills. That's okay. We're gonna go ahead and have a bunch of hills in here. So again, just as long as you feel comfortable doing them, this is good practice. So if you have a good amount of hills, you know, you can keep doing some more hills and have a really hilly scenery. And it's still good practice. It's still really good practice. Sometimes I get carried away and do just a bunch of hills and mountains on a painting, and that's okay. You can totally do that. Just as long as you get some practice and you get comfortable with it. That's all you need. I am seeing the chats pop up. The painting froze. Oh, is everybody else still frozen? Or I mean, am I frozen or is everybody good?
No, you're not frozen.
Okay. Maybe you want to go ahead and check the connection for your computer, Randy. Maybe there's something going on. Frozen for me. Okay, so some people are frozen and some people aren't. Again, you guys, this is being recorded, but if you're froze, maybe you want to go ahead and exit the meeting and then come back to the meeting. Some people are not frozen and some people are. So if for those people who are frozen, if you want to just jump back in the meeting, jump out of the meeting and jump back in, you could do that. I will wait. How do you do that? So go ahead and exit the meeting, Lori, and then just go back in how you did it the first time. Everybody else can see me? Everybody else is good?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so for everybody else that can see me, what I was gonna just say is now every time we move down to another hill, to another row of hills, we're gonna add just a little bit more black to our blue combination over here. So I took just a little bit of this blue with black and I made this darker blue. And then the same process that we did for the first mountain, we're gonna do for the second mountain. So again, with some water. You want your paint to be very nice and fluid. We're gonna go ahead and go, I don't wanna go over this blue, this baby blue. I wanna go ahead and be on the bottom of this mountain. So I'm gonna go ahead and go right in between it. Maybe just add a mountain going this way. And again, pull your colors with just a little bit of water. That's all you need. Just pull them a little down. Again, this pink, you want to save just a little bit of it so you can see it. And again, same process, just go ahead and use more water. To spread that paint out. Again, you can do as many mountains, as many hills as you want. And we're going to continue this of adding just more black to that blue mixture that we have. Just add a little bit more black each time. Your blue is going to get darker in value. If you feel like you need to add more blue to it, you can always do that as well. So if you feel like you're losing some of that blue touch, just add a little bit more blue. Can you repeat how you did the second mountain? It was the same way that I did the first mountain. Again, it's just doing a little line in there, running your brush with water after you have your mountain line. And the color that I used, it's the same blue that I used for the first mountain. I added just a little bit of more black. And that's how we're gonna do all of our mountains. So again, I added just a little bit more black since I'm done with my second mountain. I added a little bit more black, and now I'm down to this third row of mountains. And I think I'm gonna call it for this one, just because I wanna go ahead and have space over here available for my trees and all that good stuff. So again, in this painting, I have, 4, this one I have 3. It's all good. If you have space for another one, you can do the same. It's just that you have to add more black to your blue. So again, you can add as many or as little mountains as you like. I'm gonna make my mountains go up over here. So that way it looks like our hill's coming from up. Once I'm done with my color, again, I add just a little bit of water to my brush. And that way it helps me smooth out those colors over here. And again, if you feel like your mountain isn't dark enough, you can always darken it. Just a little more. Because once things start getting closer to you in the painting, they get darker. So I guess that's why these clouds are dark, because they are closer to us than the clouds that are in the distance. So again, if you do make it darker, just remember to blend in with water. Can you repeat how you did the second mountain? Mine looks like an ocean. Again, I moved my brush in very squiggly lines. There's no right way to do the second mountains. Just as long as you have a good wave of mountains and hills and all that good stuff. If you see my first painting for my second painting, they look nothing alike, the mountains. They look nothing alike. So again, just however you feel like, you know, moving your brush, if you feel like having a really big teepee mountain like this one, you know, you could do that. You can make them bigger. Just because I already have the line here doesn't mean necessarily that it's permanent. I can make this mountain bigger if I wanted to, but because I want to go ahead and show off all these beautiful colors right here in the back, that's why I decided to make it just a little smaller right now. But there's no wrong or right way to paint your mountains. Again, I just do a little like squiggle with my brush, and I use a medium brush. All right, yeah, so we're almost through. We just have our trees, this little patchy green area. We have some more trees in the foreground, and then we have our little rays of sun. So again, if you have a fan brush at home, this is the perfect time to go ahead and pull it out to use it. If you don't have a fan brush at home, that's fine. You can do this with a medium brush. The only thing I would recommend though is if you are using a medium brush is that you chisel the brush. So I remember I have a couple of familiars over here with chiseling their brushes. You just want to go ahead and run the paint back and forth on your brush. And what that's going to do is going to make this very thin line for your brush. And once you have that thin line, you can go ahead and make trees and all that good stuff. I just wouldn't necessarily use a lot of pressure when you're using a medium brush. I just want to go ahead and use a, very lightly so that line can stay very thin. For a fan brush, it's completely different. You want to use pressure. Not entirely, but you want to use pressure. And I'll show you guys that in a minute. If everybody is still working on their hills, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Okay, so I got a couple of people working on their hills still. I need to go. Can I show you my painting, please? Of course. Let's go ahead and give Tishia. Let's go ahead and see yours. Oh my goodness. That's already looking so good. I like how your mountain is so big. It's like a, what is it called? Like a big old Everest mountain. That's awesome. Are those little people right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Are they hanging out in the cave?
No, it's a lake.
Oh,
on
it's
the
a lake?
bottom.
Oh, what is that? What is that thing right next to the people?
Where?
Yeah, right
Okay,
next to the people. It's like black.
A tent.
Oh, it's a tent. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sad that you're gonna go, but we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you, okay?
Bye.
Bye. All right. That was a cool one. She had little people in it already. That's awesome. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and move on. Or actually, I'm still getting a couple of they're working on. Okay. If you're still working on your mountains, that's completely fine. I just want to go ahead and show how to do the trees so we can go ahead and establish our trees on here. And then, you know, the trees are going to be the same way all throughout the entire painting. So just as long as you can just listen to this portion and we can move on with our trees. And you can still keep working on your mountains. We'll all be in the same page by the time we start our trees together. So the trees are very simple. Again, if you have a medium brush and that's all you have, that's great. Just go ahead and chisel your brush. Chisel your brush until it's nice and you have a very thin side. After that, you're going to go ahead and take the very thin side of the chiseled brush. So I'm using that blue-black mixture, but I added more black this time. I want it to be really, really dark. So again, this is my chiseled brush. And just the chisel is just going back and forth, and you'll get that very thin line. Alrighty. So again, with a chiseled brush, you just want to go down. And again, hardly any pressure, And you want to just keep going down, but make your lines, of different, you know, shapes and sizes and all that good stuff. And as you go down towards this side where there's white, just go ahead and apply more pressure. But when it comes down to this top part over here, very, very little pressure that you want to use. And this is the brush horizontal or vertical? So the brush, I'm going up and down, vertical. But again, I'm using hardly any pressure when I'm making the line on the top. If I'm using a fan brush, if you're using a fan brush, you guys, load it with paint. So if you see, mine is completely loaded with paint. And then same thing, you want to go ahead and make yourself a line. But because these trees are in a distance with the fan brush, all we have to do is actually just go, how do you call that? So we want to make a line, but we can put pressure. Because it's a fan brush, we can actually put pressure in here. So you can go up and down, up and down. And again, you want to load your brush. Not so much with the regular brush. The medium brush, you want it to be chiseled. But with a fan brush, you want it to be nice and loaded. Because again, all you're doing is just going up and down and you're adding more pressure but you want these to be all different sizes. You don't want them to be all the same size. So the color that I'm using is just, again, the same mixture of blue and black, but this time I added way more black to it. It's still blue, but it's way more darker than all the other blues that we've used. You can add actually more black to make it black, and then we can add the blue on top of it, which is what I did over here. I did some black first, but again, the blue and black mixture works just as well. But if you do want some darker indications of trees in there, go ahead and use some black. That's totally fine. We can always put some blues on top of it. Is it just lines, or again, with a medium brush, with a chiseled side, I am doing lines, but then I'm adding more pressure in the bottom. So the line, I just want it to be visible on top. Again, these trees are in the distance. We can't see any detail in these trees. These trees are just an indication that there's more going on over here in the back. So again, they're just an indication. They're just an indication. If you're using a fan brush, it's basically the same thing. You want to just go ahead and take your fan brush and apply pressure on the bottom. So you want to apply the pressure on the bottom part, not so much this top part. Because again, we're just making a couple lines and adding that pressure on there. We also want to start shaping our hill. So the way I shape my hill, can you repeat how you do it? Again, all I'm doing is just making a couple of lines on the top. I want those lines to be visible, and then I'm using pressure in the bottom to cover the rest of the canvas. And I'm doing that all with all my trees. Because again, I want to start shaping my hill over here. I'm going to start moving my trees to that direction. So if it helps, doing the lines first, if that helps, you know, you can do your lines first. And my hill's going to be, you know, up here. So I'm going to make my trees a little longer. And again, I just want to add the indication that there's trees here. There could be a couple of trees that we can actually see some detail in it, but not so much. So if you're using a fan brush, for example, let's do one big tree right here. I'm doing a line, and I'm going to be using the corner of the brush. And just with the corner of the brush, I'm going to be skipping from side to side on this tree. And again, just add hardly any detail, hardly any detail. These trees are pretty far away, so we can't really see too much detail on these, but we can see that they are trees. So again, a good way to make your trees is just by taking your brush and applying hardly any pressure. If you're using a fan brush, you want to use some pressure, but it's more towards the bottom. So again, you guys, just by having your brush in the vertical, just go ahead and dab it up. And again, put that pressure in the bottom part. And again, this just indications of some trees. We're gonna finish adding detail with the blues in here. but it's not a lot. These trees are really, really far. And we want people to be able to see that these trees are pretty far away in distance. So again, you can always go on top with more blue. I'm adding a dark blue. It's just blue and black. Because again, I want to add just a couple more colors in these trees. So it's not just solid dark color. So again, this is just blue and black. And I'm adding it on top of this dark color. Not overpowering anything, it's just adding it on top.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I lost Wi-Fi or connection or something. I was able to see the chats. So I just made up my own mountains, but it doesn't look anywhere near as good as yours. But thank you.
No worries, no worries. Sorry for losing you right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was telling everybody my mountains, I just did this painting for the example, and my mountains right now look nothing like the ones I did earlier today. And that's completely fine. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's because you were in a different mood.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah.
just feeling, you know, more sky on this one than on
Exactly.
this one. So it
I
all
get it.
depends. Everybody's painting is going to look different.
Right.
So,
Well, mine looks totally different because I didn't get to see you do the mountains.
right,
So
and
it's
no
okay.
worries. Honestly, all I did for the mountains, and I tell everybody this, if you have a really shaky hand when it comes down to painting, this is your time to shine, you know? Like all you have
Right.
to do is take your brush, and I used a medium flat brush. So I take my brush and I just kind of like squiggle it however I want my mountains. After that, I want to go ahead and dip my brush in the water and then run the paint thinned out on
Okay.
the mountain side. So that's how it thins out, and it kind of creates these layers. So again, if you want, you can take this painting and actually practice again with your mountains and do a whole painting of mountains, and
Right.
that can
Yeah.
actually help you a lot with, you know, getting used to blending those colors out, and then having those different, you know, values of blues, or you can even make your mountains green or red, however you like, just as long as
Right.
you practice those different values and how they go.
Right.
So like how I was
Right.
telling everybody, the one farthest from us is going to be the lightest, and the one closest to us is going to be the darkest. And the same thing with the clouds. So these clouds, since they're closer to us, they're darker. And since these clouds are, you know, a little farther from us, they're a little lighter.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I also was painting on paper rather than a smooth surface, so my paints kept drying. So,
oh, gotcha. No worries.
Mhm.
You can do this on paper just as long as you use a good amount of paint. You don't want to use
Right.
too much or too little.
right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll try again and have better Wi-Fi.
No worries, no worries. We'll
Right,
see you for
bye.
the next one.
All right, bye.
All right. All right, you guys. So I went ahead and actually made some lightish blue, not too light, not too dark. And again, I want to do the same thing that I did with the trees. I just want to do it a little bit more down now, because I want to add these tiny little, you know, highlights on trees over here. Again, I'm not looking for detail. I'm not looking for anything like that. I'm just trying to add some color in here, so I can see the trees a little bit better. My trees on the left look like black grass. Not sure how it looks. Brandy. Let's go ahead and check it out. So if you want to go ahead and show me real quick, Brandy, and I can try to see how I could help. I need to go. Oh, okay. This class is taking a little longer than expected, but we are almost through. If you want to go ahead and just check the rest of the class on Facebook, it's on there. So thank you so much, Sanya. If you need to go, that's fine. You can always check out the rest of the class on Facebook. Brandy, if you want to go ahead and show me your piece, I can help you with the
Okay, I'm
tall
trying.
grass.
I'm not sure how.
Brandy, where are you at?
Right here.
I can't see your video.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, okay. There we go.
No, not me. How do I flip it?
That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you want. So even if you have those white spots in between, don't worry about it. Because again, these trees are not detailed at all. We're not looking for detail on these trees. We just want indications of trees. So once that black dries off, just use a lighter blue to go on top of it. That's looking really pretty. You did a really good job blending that background area. Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So again, that's exactly what you want. So keep doing that same thing, but with a lighter blue, okay?
And the more, then that'll fill in kind of here.
Exactly. And again, once you get more down, you want to use more pressure on your brush, and that way it will get more paint on there. But that's exactly what we're going for. Awesome. Thank you so much for showing us. All right, you guys. So it's a really good all right, that was a great example. So thank you so much, Brandy. So again, you guys, you want to just go ahead and do regular blue black on these trees, and then you want to go ahead and do a very lighter blue just to show a couple of highlights on these trees. Again, they're not detailed. Just the little indications that these are trees. Excuse me. Keisha, can I show you my painting? Of course, of course, of course. Let me go ahead and give you the spotlight. Let's go ahead and see. Oh my God, look at that. That's so pretty. That's awesome. I like how you did your green clouds. That looks really cool. And then you have, you know, that like magenta looking purple. That looks really, really pretty. I like exactly what you did. Those trees, those green trees, that's awesome. How did
Thank
you like
you.
doing all the blending and the background?
I just really just painted.
Okay. Well, it looks really pretty. Thank you so much for showing us, and we'll see you in the next class.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, you guys. So again, we're close to that finish line over here already. Let's move on to our green, our little hill area where we see our green, and then we see a couple more trees in that area. Do I have a dog? Wait a minute. I messed up one of my trees. We shouldn't be able to see like a tree exactly, but if you messed up, just go ahead and let it dry, and I can show you how to fix that in a little bit, but you just want to go ahead and let it dry at the moment. I have a lot of dogs, but yes, a lot of dogs. Moving on, we're gonna do the green. And it's just a mixture of blue and yellow. And I'm using my medium brush. How much? Let's just say I have a zoo back at home. It's a lot. But Yaya has Frankie, and Frankie's cool. She hangs out in the studio. She likes to play ball. All those cute things. All right, you guys. So we're going to take the green with our medium brush. And the same way we were kind of dabbing for the trees, we're gonna dab, but we're gonna dab in the horizontal direction. So I'm gonna dab this green, and again, I wanna make the shape of my hill right here with the green. And it doesn't matter if it's actually all over this area right here. You can actually just cover this entire area. I just want to dab it where the trees are at, so that way I know where to stop. But I can just add it regularly over here. And now we're going to start playing with our greens again. So I added just a little bit of yellow to my green to make just a little lighter green. And again, I'm just dabbing it. You can make a darker green just by adding a little bit more blue. And you can add that on top of your light green, however you feel like, I try to make it a little bit more realistic on this one. So I have like really darker greens and then like gray green, and all kinds of stuff. But again, very simple. You can do just a couple of greens. I am gonna do the same highlight green that I have over here, which is just this green with white. If you want, you can always make your green just a little bit darker. You can always add some black to it to darken it up. And again, you can add it wherever you like. If you wanted to have a couple of hills and you want to be able to show the hills here, all you have to do is just shape the hill. And here we go. We have another hill over here. See how easy that is? So again, all you want to do is just make sure that you're shaping it. And then when you do add colors on top, just make sure that you're blending those colors in as well.
How did you add that? What did you add? What color are you using right there to add that extra hill?
So again, I did a green, the green that I had, and I mixed a little bit of black with it to make it darker. So just to make sure that we can, see that shape, I want to just make it a little darker. But again, I'm blending it again with that light green that I have in the bottom. So that's why we want to move kind of, fast with our colors. We want to go back and forth with our colors. The good thing about this one is that with green, when you add black to it, you can still add some yellow and it'll go back to that bright green. And again, you can just dab it wherever you like. There's no particular way which way I'm dabbing it. Can I show mine? Isma, of course you can show yours. Let's go ahead and see if you want to go ahead and put your camera on. All right, let's go ahead and see yours. Beam, look at that. That's so cool. I like how you added orange clouds in there. And then you did your mountains with different colors as well. I like how you kept that teal color for your mountains. That's awesome. And you did like a pink for the, or is that just the lighting in your room? Is that pink or orange in the sky? Because it looks kind of like pink over here.
It's orange.
It's orange? Oh, okay. It's just the lighting then. Well, it looks cool. I like how you have that big cloud on the side over there as well. It looks like mine. That's awesome. How did you like this class?
I liked it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you're going to stick around, you can definitely stick around. And you can learn a couple of things from us. And next time you can, use those things for your other paintings. I recommend that you guys practice at home. Practice at home. Practice these methods that we use. So that way you can, get better at it and all that good stuff. But Awesome picture, Isma. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Could you talk about the rays of light, please? It's getting late on the East Coast. No worries. So honestly, the rays of light is pretty simple. All you want to do, and actually I can do that with y'all. So take your medium brush or take a small brush, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. I'll just take a small brush over here since my medium brush is being used. So take a small brush and put some water on it, and you're gonna put it with some white. And now the same thing, how we were doing the watercolor thing, we kind of want to do the same thing with the white. So we want to mix a good amount of water with our paint. And after that, again, if it comes out too bright, just go ahead and wiggle the paint out of your brush. And you want these rays to come out from behind this big cloud. And you don't want them to go over these clouds. So I do my lines, and they can go over the the orange clouds, the yellow, they can go over the mountains, they can go over anywhere else except these 3 clouds over here. So now after you have that, what you can do is just use your finger to dab it up and make it lighter, or you can use a very dry brush. If it's still wet, you can use a very dry brush and just run your brush through it. Or if it already dried like mine did, I add a little bit of water and I kind of just blend it out as much as I can without actually blending it completely out. So again, it's just white. And you want to blend it out. So again, if you want to use your finger, you want to use a brush, there's no wrong way of doing it. I'm waiting for how to correct my tree. All right, let's go ahead and see yours, Isha. Let's see this tree real quick. Oh, that's no problem. Honestly, all you have to do is go around the tree.
This
So
one?
all you have to do, and I'm gonna show you real quick on the back of my palette. So let's say this is your tree right here, this little fat bush right here. And then you have little trees going on over here. That's exactly how your tree looks like, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all you want to do is take the brush and bring more lines over here on this one, on this side, and then cover. So the more you put the pressure in here, the more it's going to cover over here on the bottom. And then you can add that blue that we have. So we have that regular blue, and then we have a lighter blue on top. So again, you can just do what we just did and add the blue.
Can you show a front? Excuse me.
And you have a fan brush. So exactly, just add pressure in there. Just add pressure when you're doing it in the bottom. But again, these lines, you can always correct that on the top over here. Just as long as, you know, you add that blue on the bottom, it will take away all that that you see right there.
Thank you.
For sure. Can you pin your video? How do I do that? I don't know how to do that.
You left it on Spotlight, I think. You just have to take off Spotlight.
Mine is on Spotlight right now.
Oh, it went back. It's good now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Alrighty, you guys. So again, the rays is just white, but you want to smooth them out. So if it's either your finger or if it's a brush, remember, if your paint is dry, use a wet brush. Not too wet, but not too dry. And if your paint is wet, use a dry brush. All right, so all we have is the light color, the highlight color for our grass, and we're good to go, y'all. So I'm taking that same green that I made and I'm adding some white to it. And now I just want to add it to the edges over here. The edges of my hills. If you want to go ahead and make some trees for the foreground, it's the same way that we've made trees before. So you want to take the corner of your brush, and if it's a fan brush, medium brush, it doesn't matter which brush you use. You can use both these brushes to make some trees. So again, I'm gonna load my brush. I'm using a fan brush. You're gonna load your brush. And I'm using, you know, just different varieties of greens here. So you're gonna load your brush and you're gonna do a line. And then just the corner of the brush, you're gonna bounce back and forth, and then keep applying more pressure as you go down. So where is the sun in this pic? Again, the sun is coming from behind this cloud. So that's why the rays are coming out this way. And that's why we can't really see too much what's going on over here because the cloud's blocking it. But we have this whole side of where the sun has pretty much reflected. So again, the sun is coming from this area over here. That's why we have our rays of sun coming out from behind the cloud. So again, you guys, you can add as many trees over here in the bottom as you want. I'm just gonna add a couple and call it a day. So you can do really dark ones. And again, this is just the green, the same green that we've been using mixed with black. You can make a really pretty green mixing black and yellow. And it's like a dark green. So again, thank you so much, everyone who's joined us on Facebook, on Zoom. Thank you so much, everybody. Would you be willing for me to show mine? Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave mine up for just a couple of minutes so everybody else can catch up with us. But I will go around so everybody can show their piece. Again, I'm gonna just give it a couple of minutes so everybody can catch up. But everybody can show theirs if they want to. Again, I'm just thanking each and every one of y'all for coming and doing this class with us again, or, you know, not again, but you're with us again. Yisha, you can go ahead and show us. Oh, awesome. That's great. I like how you did the blending in the back. Your teals and your oranges and your pinks, they all blend really nice. That's awesome. Did you find this painting a little harder on the blending side? Or about the same? How did you find the painting?
I think the painting is great. Only thing is like, I didn't get much about the tree part, I think need little practice.
Oh, no worries, no worries. If anything, again, if you were using a fan brush, all you need to do is just apply pressure on the bottom. And again, if you want to go ahead and watch Bob Ross, even Bob Ross, when he does his trees in the distance, all he does is just apply the paint in vertical angle, but he applies more pressure in the bottom. So all he does is just apply that pressure in the bottom. So you did a really good job in the blending, but again, you can keep practicing your trees with another painting. And if you want, you can even do a whole mountain or a whole painting of trees just to get those trees right,
Right. Yes.
Well, thank you so much
Okay.
for joining us, and we'll see
Thank
you for
you
the next
so
one,
much.
okay?
All right, see you. Bye-bye.
All righty, let's go ahead and give Ashwira a chance. So go ahead and show us your painting. Oh, the lighting is just a little too dark in there. Maybe. There we go. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. I like the rays of sunshine, and the mountains look really cool. That's awesome. How did you like painting this one?
Oh, it's my first time actually, so I
No
messed up a
worries.
lot
No
today.
worries at all. You did a really good job with the blendings. You know, if anything, all I would say is that to keep a little bit of paint on your brush. So sometimes we can add a little bit too much paint to our brush. So I always say less is better. Less is always better. So if you add a little bit too much paint, it's okay, you know, just start with a little paint and then work your way with more paint if you need more paint. But other than that, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you join us for a next one, you know, and we'll see more of you.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Let's go ahead and give somebody else a shot. I think Katie is ready to go ahead and show us. Ooh, look at that. That's awesome, Katie. So how did you, because I see that that's on a paper.
Yes, it's acrylic paper.
Oh, okay. So how did you feel about blending on paper?
It was very hard.
It was hard.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you feel like it would have helped you? More water or maybe more paint?
I honestly don't know. I was doing watercolor before this. This is my second acrylic painting. So any instruction.
Honestly, it's pretty good. I like the rays of sunshine. Like you did a really good job blending out that yellow and orange portion over there. Your trees, you know, they could use a little work, but they look like trees from here. And especially the rays of sunshine, I think that you did a really good job portraying those. They're not too light, but they're not too dark either. So you can still tell that where they are. So if anything, give yourself a pat on the back and just go ahead and join us for more classes. And again, the more practice, the more loose you get, the more comfortable you get. So it's all in due time. But thank you so much for showing us your piece.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and give somebody else a shot. I think Akash is ready. So let's see where Akash is at over here. Give me a second, you guys. All right, y'all have the spotlight.
Hello.
And Anaya is gonna be next. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. That's great. I think everybody had a little trouble with the blending of the mountains and a little trouble with the trees. So
The
again,
trees. That's the problem.
the trees can be difficult when they are in the distance, but honestly, it's all about how we use our weapon and what type of weapon we use. And what I mean is by like the brush that we use. So depending on
Exactly.
what
We need
brush
the
we
right
use.
brush. If you could recommend us which brush we should buy, that would be
The
great.
brushes that I use for mountains, for trees, for clouds, this is my favorite brush to use for that stuff. It's called a fan brush.
Fan brush. Okay.
So
Okay.
it kind of just looks like a fan. And again, you can look up videos on how to use a fan brush, but they're very, very versatile. Very, very versatile. You can do almost anything with these. But the reason why they're so good for trees is just because of the way that you can load the brush, and it can pick up a lot of paint. So you know, you don't have to worry about reloading your brush constantly. And also, when it comes down to making shapes, you can just use the corner of the brush, and that will help a lot with making shapes and indications of trees and stuff like that. But yes, a fan brush, a filbert brush, you can also use.
Okay, and brush on the other one is?
So filbert is spelled Filbert.
Okay,
Filbert, a filbert
Okay.
brush. And that brush is also really good for making clouds, making trees, all that good stuff. But
Okay.
these look really beautiful, you guys. Thank you so much.
okay,
for
this is
joining us.
mine.
My mom wants to show.
Yes, I see it. And honestly, I like the green right there by the mountain. That looks really good. I like the trees. The trees, you did a really good job on those. And
Oh,
your
really?
mountains,
Thank you.
your mountains, you have different hues of blues and all that good stuff. So you did a really good job.
Thank you. What about the blending? Is it okay?
Yes, I like the blending of the orange over here. The orange looks really good. If anything, I might have blended the pink in just a little bit more, but
Okay,
other than
okay.
that, you did a really good job. Really good
Thank
job.
you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for joining us. So let's
Thank
go
you.
ahead and give Anaya a chance. I know Anaya's been wanting to go and ahead and show us.
Good night.
So you got the spotlight. Oh my God, those are your birds. That's so cute. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah, if you could raise it, that's awesome. I'm having a little hard time looking at your mountains with your trees over here. Maybe it's just the lighting, but I see the orange and the pinks and the purples and the yellows, and that looks amazing. So you did a really good job in the blending on the top section. If anything, what I would try to do is just with the trees portion, try to cover that canvas as much as you can. So even if you go on top and cover a little bit of the mountains, it's okay, just as long as you cover the canvas. We don't want to see those little spots of canvas still left over. But other than that, you did a really good job with your blending, and those rays of sunshine as well. Those look really, really good. So thank you so much, Inaya, for showing us your little birds. Do they talk?
No.
They don't? Oh, okay, no worries. They look cute. They look really cute. So again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and give somebody else a shot over here. Who wants to go next? I think Allison is showing us already. So let's go ahead and give the spotlight to Allison.
Yeah, hi, I did too.
Oh my God, you did too. That's awesome.
I was trying different things on the two sides. So this one, I just did the mountains and trees differently and the sky different.
And I see that your mountains look more detailed. So you have like, your highlights and your shadows in there and your trees.
I grew up in Oregon, so I know the mountains better than the sunset stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And that's great. If anything, I really like those mountains on that one. And look at those colors. Can you go back to that second one? Wow, look at that, you guys. So she has the rays of sunshine coming out with her blues and the whites in there. That looks really, really pretty. And I like how you even added detail on these mountains over here, even though we didn't, but that looks really, really pretty. And
yeah, I might
colors,
update the ones in the front. I think I need to add more to. But I started this one and I kept spilling blue on the sky. So I thought it was going to be ruined. So then I redid the sky over here. It's just my second try. So the sky is better on this one.
and again,
But
that practice, even by just doing it one more time, that practice shows, you guys. So look at that side-by-side comparison of the first try and the second try of Allison. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for showing us.
Thank you.
Let's go
Thanks
ahead
for
and
class.
yes, thank you. Thank you. Let's go ahead and give Lana the spotlight. I think Lana's already ready to show us her painting. So, oh, look at that. That's awesome. That's on a canvas, right?
Canvas board, yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. I like how you have the different blues for your mountains. That's great. You did a really good job with your trees as well. You added some little highlight colors on top of that. That's great. And then your rays of sunshine, again, not too powerful. They're still there. You're still able to see them, but they're nice and blended in. So you did a really, really good job, Lana. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Let's go ahead and give Iris a shot over here. And wow, look at that. That's great. I like how red it is. I like that powerful red. That's so awesome. Look at those mountains too. Wow. And how did you like doing this painting, Iris?
It was really difficult.
Yes, right? But how did you feel about that blending that you did? I mean, look at that, you guys. That's awesome. That's a really good job.
I think it would have been maybe easier with better brushes.
What kind of brushes are you using, if you don't mind me asking?
Just like whatever I happened to buy at the craft store, like in a set, like super cheap.
Honestly, super cheap brushes are my favorite because they have the ability to make texture that new brushes don't. So, never doubt those old cheap brushes because sometimes you can get really, really good texture out of those. So if anything, keep going, keep using those cheap brushes. You're doing a really good job. You're doing a really good job. So thank you so much for showing us, Iris. Hopefully you
Thanks.
learned something new today. And we'll see you in the next one. So I think Manuela is ready. Let's go ahead and give Manuela a shot. Hey, Manuela.
Hello.
Ooh,
Hold on, let
look
me
at that. Oh, actually your lighting is just a little too dark.
Yeah, let me put some light.
Awesome. Is this your first time with us, Manuela?
First time.
Awesome. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Now you can see the difference. That's awesome. I like how you did your clouds over here on the right. So you have like those different blues going on, and then you have the white on top of it, and then your mountains.
We'll
You did
never
a
paint
really
this
good
painting
job
again.
with blending out that color out. So nice
just-
job, Manuela.
I just missed at the beginning, so my yellow on the sky is not too good.
It's okay. It's totally fine. We
I
try to
started
start
right
the
with
classes.
the orange, so I didn't have, I tried to put the yellow after, but doesn't get as bright as, the other ones.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say. If anything, don't try to go back to a color. If you didn't add it in the beginning, don't try to go back to it. What you can do is actually add more white to the yellow, and it'll make it opaque. So once you add the white to the yellow, you can add it, like if I were to add white to the yellow right now and add it on top of right here, this dark area, I will still be able to see it because it has that white. So if you were to do that still, you would, I think it would actually work for you. If you were to do some white with yellow, and then you would try to just blend it in there.
Blend the yellow and white before, or just put white on the paint?
Before. So you want to blend that on your palette, the white and the yellow, and then you can add it to your canvas or your paper. Is that a paper?
Yeah, I bought the canvas, but I couldn't find before. That's why I was late.
It's all right. We'll be ready for the next one, okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Manuela. We'll see you in the next one.
Yes, thank you too.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. Let's go ahead and give somebody else a shot over here to show us who's ready, guys. Ooh, I think Sarah's ready. Let's go ahead and give Sarah a shot.
Better.
Hey, Sarah, how you doing?
I am tired, but I'm okay. This one, it was hard, but I like what I
I like how you did your mountains a lot. I really like how you did that. Honestly, I know this painting can be, pretty tricky when it comes down to, the methods that we do. But other than that, as long as we're learning and we're having fun, that's all that matters. And I'm pretty sure you learned a couple of new tricks today, right?
I did. For example, I don't know what brushes I use, but I use this brush to do the lines down here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the brush is.
I've never
And
seen that kind of brush.
Yeah, it helped
Baby.
with, to get those lines down there.
Here, look at it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it does say number 3/8.
I mean, I've seen where those brushes kind of like cut like back and forth, but I've never actually used it.
Yeah, it helped a lot. And
That's
then I
awesome. And that's what I was telling everybody else, you know, as long as you, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you real quick. But as long as you, what was I saying? As long as you, use the technique that I was telling you guys, and it doesn't matter if you're using a cheap brush or a fancy brush, it doesn't matter what kind of brush you're using, just as long as you're using that technique, as long as you keep that paint in there and use the pressure especially for the trees, you want to use that pressure on the bottom, that those trees are going to come out very smoothly. So you did do a really good job on your trees as well. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us again. I'll see you on the next one, and then hopefully, I think the next painting that we have is actually a really, really pretty painting. So I'm actually really excited about that one, you guys. Hopefully we'll see you for that one. So let's give Brandy a shot over here. I think Brandy wanted to go ahead and show their painting. So let's give Brandy a shot. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. You did a really good job, Brandy. Look at that. You added some highlights on those mountains, and that's really good, you guys. Check that out. The rays of sun. That's awesome. I know that you in the beginning you were a little iffy on there, but how did you feel after?
A little bit better.
A little.
My clouds are a little dark, but yeah, no.
Honestly, I like your clouds. I was actually gonna say something about your clouds, how good they look. Like that cloud that has the orange in the bottom. Ooh.
This one?
Yes. Can you close up on it? Check that cloud out, you guys. You see that cloud? All you need is just a little highlight
pink into it.
Yes, I see that. And all you need is just a little highlight, and it makes it pop so much. So that's awesome. You did a really good job with that cloud, and actually those dark clouds. I like those clouds. So
thank
you so much for showing us.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, let's go ahead and give Mary a shot over here. Hey, Mary. How you doing?
Yes.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I forget sometimes.
Yes,
no, look at that. That's cool. And I like how you did your rays of sunshine yellow. That's awesome. How did you feel about the whole blending and the mountains with the water and all that stuff? How did you feel about that?
It was a character test.
Yeah. Yes. Again, it's all about practice, you guys. It's all about practice. But honestly, I really like how you did the blending in the back. You have your yellows and your oranges nice and blended. And then you have this side where you have your teal and your pinks and your purples. And it's not too where, those hard edges are at. It looks pretty blended and smooth together. And also with your clouds, you did a really good job with your clouds. So, thank you so much again for joining us.
It was fun. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I'm glad. Well, we'll go ahead and give somebody else a shot. I think Vijayda is still ready to show us. So let's go ahead and give her the spotlight. Oh, wow. Look at that, y'all. Can you close that up a little bit? Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I like how you did the grassy area, the little patches. You can see all different kinds of greens there. Your mountains are astounding. Like, look at those mountains. have the light blues going in there. That's great. That's really, really pretty. How did you feel about this one?
Mountains were really difficult.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, again, practice makes a better and more confident artist.
Yeah.
Practice does not make perfect, but practice does make a more confident artist, which is exactly what we're going for. But look at that. I mean, look, your clouds from the rays too. That's awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank
showing
you.
us.
Thanks for teaching us.
Yeah, thank you. Well, let's go ahead and give Claudia a shot. I think Claudia said she was ready. Oh, wow.
There it is.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Can you close that up to that pink, yellow stuff you going on over here? Can you close up your camera really, really close to that?
Hold on, let me see.
That looks so pretty. Though that combination right there of the blending with the pinks and the yellows. You did pink clouds too. That's great. Or is that orange? I can't tell. Maybe
It's a little bit of both. It's pink and orange.
That's awesome. Yeah, you could tell. You could tell it has that pinkish tone. That's great. And look at those mountains, y'all. She added some highlights without adding any color. Is that correct?
That's correct. I just used water and
Yeah,
colors were
just
already
you
using.
moved it around and then you added the darker sides to where you wanted your shadows. That's so good. Look at
but
that.
I spent too much time on that and I didn't get to do the green hill, so it ended up
Oh,
just being
it's
a
okay.
tree.
You can always go back to our Facebook and watch the rest of the class on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And keep going with your painting. But so far, it's looking really, really pretty. So thank you so much for joining our class.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and give somebody else a shot. Tripti, are you ready? Awesome. I think she's ready. So let's go ahead and go and see. And here we go. Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, see, same thing. You did a really good job with your mountains and making sure that they were different color blues. Your trees look really good. I see that you added some highlights on top of those trees, so that's nice.
Yeah, my tree is not good. That's why I'm putting a highlight.
It's okay. I mean, honestly, I highlighted the bottom part of it, but it's good to highlight the top part where you did, because again, that's where the sun is coming in. So
Yeah,
you want to keep that in mind, that the sun is coming in from this side. So you want to make sure that the sun is reflected on these things like the trees and the grass and stuff like that. So really, really good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Let's go ahead and give somebody else a shot over here. Does anybody else want to show their piece?
Is the mountain is good blending?
Of course. I really, really like your mountains. Let me go ahead and spotlight you real quick. So yes, again, I liked how you blended like the edges of your mountains. They're really, really they're really solid. So you can see the edge very, very clearly, just like how on your mountains. And then you used water to just run the rest of the paints, So again, really good job on the edges of those mountains as well as the inside of the mountain, because you don't want it to be too dark on the inside and then get lost with the, excuse me, get lost with the other mountains. So really, really good job, Tripti.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, good night.
Oh, yes, you have a good night as well. I was going to say, if anybody else still wants to go ahead and show us, you can show us. Otherwise, I will be calling today's class done. And yeah, is there a class tomorrow? Not finding it. Let me go ahead and ask Yaya. I believe there is a class tomorrow, but I have to make sure. just because I know that I'm painting a class on Wednesday,
Oh, good.
but he actually hasn't mentioned anything for tomorrow.
Are you doing the outer space painting?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Yeah.
Yes, I'm actually just starting it right now if you want to see a little sneak peek of it.
Yeah, let's see. That would be awesome.
All right, 1, 2, 3. I'm not done with it, so you can't see it.
Okay, that was awesome.
But yes, it's going to be a lot of colors, a lot of other cool techniques that we're going to learn for that painting. But if you want to just wait, Beth, maybe like 5 minutes before Soya can text me, and then I'll let you know if there's a class for tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you everybody else, for joining, and we'll see you guys in the next class. Remember, your hands look like this, so your painting can look like this.
I gotta use that.
Yes, but thank you so much, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Yes,
night.
good night, everybody.
Yeah, I'm not seeing one for tomorrow.
So I just texted Yaya, Mary, if you want to go ahead. Oh, good night, Mary. I just texted Yaya, Beth, if you want to go ahead and just wait it out. I'm gonna just try to see if there is classes, and I'm gonna let you know as soon as I find out.
Okay, I'm just, I have this one email that I've saved where I usually find what's coming up, and I'm just not seeing it. Green Mountains.
I know we had some trouble with the Zoom earlier because I was trying to do something, and I don't even remember what I was trying to do, but I ran into a problem with Zoom, and then I found that, oh, that's what it was. So today's painting, it had said that we were doing the outer space painting.
Oh.
Yeah, so there was something wrong with that.
Yeah. I thought there was something for every day this week, and all of a sudden I'm not seeing it.
Right. I think that's what it was. So we ended up changing the outer space painting to Wednesday because it was originally set for Wednesday, but for some reason it was for today. But we, ended up changing that. But I'm pretty sure the classes are still going to be up and running. They're at the same time every day at 7:30. So even if you don't see a class, I'm pretty sure you can still join with the same ID, but I'm not completely positive about that.
Okay, doke. Here it says check all classes here. I thought there was something every day this week. Let me just look real quick, and if not, I'll just or maybe I'll look on Facebook, the Facebook feed. I don't want to keep you. You've been working so hard today.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything for Tuesday.
Yeah. So again, I just texted him, but he hasn't replied to me.
That's okay. If there is something, then he'll fix it, and then I'll see it.
Right. Exactly. And then he'll tell me.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Beth. And a really pretty picture today. You did a really good job.
Thank you. Like I said, the blending.
So we'll see you for the next one.
The blending was a character builder, but anyway.
Yes. It's all a character builder.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So again, you guys, thank you so much for coming. We'll see you for the next one. And hopefully there is one tomorrow. If not, I'll be here Wednesday. And we'll catch up on outer space and all that good stuff over there. So again, thank you so much. And happy painting. So I'll be closing this meeting down in 2 minutes. If y'all were still looking at my reference, I'll leave it up. So again, thank you so much for joining us, you guys, and we'll see you in the next one, okay? So peace. Good night.